Boys and girls, this is the Undisputed Era. Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, Roderick Strong, and you're listening to Going In Raw, baby.
What's up? This is the most must-see WWE superstar of all time and his lovely, gorgeous wife, Marie. And you are going in Smackdown Live.
Hi, this is Shinsuke Nakamura. Shinsuke watching Going In the Raw.
Hey, friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome back to Going In Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be. I knew that was going to happen. Oh, look at us, Larson.
Oh, we're frozen.
The only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to right here at youtube.com/Steven Larson. And available wherever podcasts can be found.
There
be
we are.
sure to
We're
hit that
unfrozen
subscribe
now.
button and the little notify bell next to it to make sure you always get your new Going In Raw notifications. Hey, it's been a little while since we've had a live stream botch.
It's true.
So
it's
we
true.
were due. We were probably maybe overdue. If you're watching this live, or actually if you're watching the VOD, it's still going to be in the VOD.
Yeah. Yeah.
So anyways, yeah, we're there in the audio realm. If you take a second, leave us a rating, review, or comment. Really does go a long way towards helping boost the exposure of the show. We're also over there on the Patreon at patreon.com/Steven Larson. Honestly, it's the best way to support Going In Raw. We give you guys some rewards, some things, and in return, you kick us some dollar bills.
And right now, you got about 4 days to get your contribution in if you want one of those
Friendo Care packages.
See there, there's stickers. 2 of them feature our faces. If anybody would actually want to feature
I love when
our
I
faces
see my
in
dad driving his minivan
I know.
around town, and our faces are on the
I
back
know.
of it.
I saw it. That's a telltale.
Proud dad.
I know when Papa Steve here is rolling through town.
Exactly.
The original Going In Raw logo, you get a postcard signed by us. The double-sided poster makes you choose between Mecha Santa and Top Notch. Really no choice. It's all about Top Notch. And then, of course, the comic book, which features a Steven Larson tale that can only be told in the pages of the comic book. It costs at least $100 billion to make that to a major motion picture.
At least. I'm not sure. And what would be the runtime on that movie?
4.5 hours.
4.5 hours.
And that's the abridged
Endgame's
cut.
got nothing on
Director's
us.
cut would be 6.
There you go. We got some new patrons in. Going to go ahead and give them some shout-outs for joining the family. Liam Jones, Daniel Taylor, Peter Dunke, Jennifer Pochik. I think this is Pochik. And Giancarlo Roncal. Thank you all for your support. We really appreciate it. So, yeah. Man, what an emotional roller coaster last night's SmackDown Live was.
It was something else, man. That's in a sense quality television. There's ups and downs.
Oh, man.
You're just talking about the Oscar thing.
I can fast forward to one of the most beautiful TV moments I've seen in a little while. The very end.
Oh, it was great.
Was truly and absolutely emotionally.
You got to balance highs and lows, man.
Yeah.
You got to balance highs and lows. But everybody was poo-pooing, depressed, angry about Oscar losing. And I wasn't happy about it either. But given time to reflect, I think there could be a silver lining in this whole thing.
You and I are so weird because sometimes you're the one to completely poo-poo on stuff, and I'm the one to be like, I'm going to defend the company right now. I think what you're going to say is in line with how I want to feel, but I'm not confident that I do, so go ahead.
Let me continue, because I wouldn't have thought this save for one line from commentary that I haven't really noticed anybody else picking up on.
Okay.
During the match between Charlotte and Asuka, I think it was Byron.
Oh, I know what you're talking about, because I heard that same line. I'm glad you're bringing this up.
He said, I don't remember if he posed this as a question or a statement, but essentially he said, I'm paraphrasing, if Charlotte wins, she might have to wrestle twice at WrestleMania.
Yeah, true.
So,
true.
Let's take this to next Tuesday. Let's say Charlotte picks up the win for her team. Because we were just saying yesterday, Charlotte needs a huge W. She needs a moment to establish herself, so she's not walking to Mania like as an afterthought or underdog. Mission accomplished in that sense.
Yeah, sure.
If this wasn't Asuka losing the title, basically anybody else, I'd have absolutely no problem with this as a storytelling device. I think it's going to work out really well. Given that it's Asuka, it's a bummer. However, if you take that line of commentary, which could be throwaway for all we know, but, got the wheels turning. So Charlotte comes out on SmackDown next week, fresh off winning the match for her team on Raw, and says, all right, do you still think I don't deserve to be in this match now? Becky comes out, and she just essentially says, no, You used your name, your influence to get the title match from Asuka last week. You didn't earn that shot. You influenced the McMahons to get that opportunity.
Politicked your way
politicked your way in, just like you do. You steal other people's spotlights, and this time you stole Asuka's WrestleMania opportunity. And Charlotte could say, I've done this. What else do you want me to do? Cue Asuka's music. She comes out. She more or less says, fight me at Mania. And Becky starts egging Charlotte on. Yeah. And Charlotte can say, okay, I'll prove to you once and for all that I deserve to be in this match. I'll do what you have yet to do, Becky. Beat Asuka for the third time, no less. So, to kick off WrestleMania, the main card, we get Charlotte versus Asuka for the SmackDown Women's title. Asuka wins.
Okay.
She picks up her win over Charlotte. She is the only person in the last year to beat both Becky and Charlotte now. That satisfies or alleviates one huge issue. What does Asuka do at Mania that's actually consequential? Her versus Charlotte, pretty damn consequential.
Sure.
And then it sets up Charlotte walking to the main event of Mania, dropping the title, massive chip on her shoulder to prove that she still belongs in that match. And also sets up the expectation, because how many times have we seen it at Mania where someone walks in with 2 scheduled matches, whether it's announced or not, loses the first one only to win the second one. Brett did it at 10. Granted, Seth wasn't announced for the main event of WrestleMania 31, but he lost his match against Orton early on. Even at the Rumble this year, Becky lost to Asuka, won the Rumble. So the expectation, if you pay attention, Charlotte walking in that main event, by her losing the belt earlier, actually increases her odds of winning the main event.
Yeah.
So as a storytelling device, if they play this out right, it could add layers upon layers upon layers of stuff to the main event, which otherwise wouldn't have been there. I have a hard time believing they're going to do a unified women's title.
I don't think it's going to happen. Everybody's saying that, but
that was the first conclusion everybody jumped to. I didn't see anybody talking about that, about Byron's line.
Nobody did on commentary. You're right.
I didn't see anybody talking about that, but I heard that and I was like, oh.
The only thing that I noticed was when they updated the graphic to show Charlotte with the SmackDown Women's title. All it said, instead of saying for the Raw Women's Championship, it just said main event. So they took that line out, but at no point. Now, here's one thing that kind of concerns me, or that concerns me overall about the whole thing. I love your scenario, and I'm wondering if I kind of think that line probably more than anything was a throwaway, them just doing their jobs.
Entirely possible.
Although I think it's great. I clinged on to the same exact thing.
Yeah.
I think it's like if I were to be a betting person, though, I would say this. Asuka's probably going to win the Women's Battle Royal. She's probably going to dominate that, which is unfortunate because she's above that. However, I do think that Ronda's going to be gone after Mania. Charlotte will end up as champion, which will be Asuka chasing Charlotte, and she'll get that win, at some point soon after that. Because as much as I would love that, Charlotte walking into that main event after having just lost to Asuka, at that point, the crowd's got to be interested in her.
Who, Charlotte?
In Charlotte.
Yeah, exactly.
Which would be great.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if... I don't know. I love the idea.
That's the best way to generate actual... Because everybody...
You think she's going to win at that point? Or you at least... Okay, man, she has a real
shot here. Exactly.
Yeah, I know.
Right now, I'm guessing no one expects her to win at all. It's either going to be Becky. That's like... I imagine most people are putting money on Becky. Slight chance for Ronda to win.
Give Charlotte a real story going in, and she lacks that right now. Yeah. No, I agree with that. I wouldn't put my bet on it.
No, I wouldn't either. I just was sitting there watching it and thinking about it.
Although, I don't know, dude, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Because here's the problem with that also. Here's my belief, is that up until SmackDown preview, and in fact, I saw it first from Sean Ross Sapp over at Fightful. He had something on Twitter that said a huge angle's about to go down in the women's division. He didn't say what it was, but obviously he knew something.
Yeah, he didn't divulge the finish of the match, no.
I don't know if somebody showed Vince that picture of the horsewomen standing tall with their titles. If he saw that and midday he was like, this is what this is great. Let's do this. Because obviously this was changed late.
Yeah, Meltzer said it was yesterday they made the move.
Yeah.
Because even SmackDown preview, they still had the
still had the
situation where
Mandy Rose thing.
There was the 4-way that was going to determine number one contender.
I guess here's my thing is that I don't know what the lesser of two evils is. I really don't. The SmackDown Women's Championship being defended in the kickoff show, because whoever won that number one contendership, that's a kickoff show. And that's literally what I said. We both said and agreed upon at the TLC recap. Because I went back and looked at it. Because Adam Mahan was bugging me on Twitter about this with his hashtag, I told you so.
Well, yeah, I was hopeful they could come up with something. I still think if Ember Moon hadn't gotten hurt, there was a chance they could move her to SmackDown and built up a program with her.
It's not.
That would have made it on the main card.
I mean, look, you can say this about, and you could have said that about Ember Moon. You could have said it about Nikki Cross. But the bottom line is, there is no time on SmackDown to establish that. Every week, what have we said? Every single week, we've said SmackDown's been great. They fit so much. The unfortunate truth is they didn't carve out time for a decent Asuka title run.
No. And
they should have. It probably took precedent over any number of the other storylines, but it just fell to the ways. Instead they were doing stuff like Mandy Rose and Naomi, which I get. They're trying to build up stars. They're trying to build up stars into superstars.
I wonder if they just.
But there was no competition for her.
No, exactly. And
that's why I was angling for her to be to make it a 4-way when we got to Mania.
Totally. I think we both were of the opinion that'd be the best option for Asuka because there was no real competition at that point. And maybe they tried to invest time in building up somebody at the expense of actually showcasing Asuka as champion. Realized, okay, this isn't working. Because I think Meltzer said when he mentioned that it was changed yesterday that apparently Vince thought that whoever won the Fatal 4-Way ended up facing Asuka. No one's going to care about it.
Nobody would care about it.
Because it'd be an obvious win for Asuka.
Yeah.
And so scrapped it.
Yeah. It's and here's the thing. I hate it. I don't like that Asuka's entire title run beyond beating Becky at the Rumble. I don't like that it's been booked to crap. But the bottom line is
it's been non-existent.
It's been non-existent, but they haven't established any other top tier talent in the women's division and I love Ember Moon, and you know that, but they were doing some. I mean, okay, I think maybe number one, it could have been Nia Jax. Maybe if they brought over Nia Jax, they had a small thing in NXT before Nia Jax came to main roster. She's sort of the only other person beyond Asuka. Maybe they could have brought her over to SmackDown for a thing.
You know, if they end up
People
having
would have cared about
Asuka versus Charlotte Mania before the main event, it would really satisfy the two things that really need to happen. Give Charlotte a story. Give Asuka an actual real WrestleMania match.
But here's the thing, though. It doesn't satisfy that last image that I'm positive they want, and that's all 4 horsewomen standing in the ring with titles.
I don't know.
Because here's the thing. If you had to choose, if they came to you and said, "Hey, what's the biggest thing? Is it the lasting image at the end there? Or is it the other two options that you mentioned?" You'd probably say, because you just came up with it, you would say the Charlotte story going in and Asuka.
Well, I'd
killing two birds with one
I'd like
stone.
the interesting storyline going through Mania. That would be my thing, because I think it could lead to a lot more stuff. You have that image, which is great, but you have the image, and that's.
I'm going to suggest this. Where
do you go from there?
Well, where you go from there is Charlotte leading the SmackDown women's division, Becky leading the Raw women's division.
That's what you're going to get anyways.
And you have Asuka chasing Charlotte after Mania, which I think we've already seen a pretty compelling match a year ago.
Oh, the match last night was good too.
And the match last night was good. We'll get more of that while they build up Mandy Rose, while they continue to try to build up, maybe Naomi and some others, Nikki Cross. And then the Lacey Evans thing. But is it a short-term sacrifice for an image that they want and that, frankly, I kind of want to see? It sucks. I don't know. I don't know what I want more.
That's a really good Photoshop.
It's an amazing Photoshop.
Very believable. I'm content with that.
See, I want to see that for realsies, because I want to see these four women put women's wrestling on the map for WWE. They brought in tons of money, and for those four specifically, to have their big moment in the main event, the lasting image of WrestleMania, that transcends everything. And in my opinion, it supersedes everything. And then you can move on. Asuka chases Charlotte. Who I don't know who's going to chase Becky.
I like drama. I want the drama.
Yeah, we have drama. We got 2 champions going in. Don't make me defend them taking that title off Asuka. I don't want to do that.
Certainly sounds like you are.
But that lasting image right there at the end, that's something else.
I can defend it if it means some interesting storylines.
Yeah, but in the moment, that's one thing. But what matters? What matters is the lasting image. That's what you keep in mind. I don't even remember. Now that we've reviewed it a little bit, I remember how Eddie Guerrero won his title, leading to that lasting image at Mania 20. I know that Benoit was chasing it in that triple threat, but what sticks out in my head is the lasting image there at the end.
The part of that image, though, is a story that led up to it. Without if you just had 2 guys who popped in for WCW and a month later were standing there in WrestleMania with titles, it wouldn't mean as much without knowing their stories.
It was the culmination of their entire careers getting to that point, being the hardest workers, being the guys who transcended everything. It had nothing to do with the beat-by-beat story going in.
Well, that's what I mean, the stories of their careers, yes.
Yeah, exactly. And so, therefore, the stories of the 4 horsewomen leading to that lasting image is the most important thing. That trumps everything. If you have 3 of the horsewomen standing there with titles and Charlotte just hanging out, this is cool. It's not as palpable, man. It's not as big.
Depends if that's what they want. I don't know if it is what they want.
But at this point, I am thoroughly convinced that somebody showed Vince that image, and he said, "Oh, that's where we're gonna go." Yeah. But it's an absolute shame. I was in I don't know if you saw any of my tweets.
You were livid.
I was in the wood, man.
Yeah.
And I had even prepared a survey, which I didn't pull the trigger on. Cooler head prevailed.
Yeah.
Because that lasting final image of the New Day having gotten Kofi in after all that Kofi had already done, that was good. That was better, I think, than any sit-in. And the Usos.
Yeah, that was great.
Oh, God. Oh, man.
That was great.
Xavier was cradling Big E, and the Usos come out. Oh, I had goosebumps. I get goosebumps thinking about
great.
it.
What I love, too, is after that, and then you see Daniel Bryan and Eric Rowan trash in the locker room.
Oh!
And we come back. Oh! Daniel Bryan super kicking the TV.
Oh, man.
We come back out, and they are announced as the last tag team, and Big E can't stand up. He's on the mat doing this.
Yeah.
Come on. Bring it.
Yeah.
Bring it. That was great.
Oh, God. Great. And then the locker room floods the place when they get their win.
Good stuff.
Oh, my gosh. And the tension, like the horror movie-esque tension of Rowan underneath the announce desk, and it's sort of moving. You're like, oh, my God, is he going to – and you're like, oh, is he going to wait until 6 to, fling it off and run in there?
Do some, Superman stuff, yeah.
And then you're looking at the clock. Oh, there's 2 minutes left. Are they going to get screwed over somehow else? But no, it's just a big celebration.
Yeah, man.
That was good stuff. I give it a yay. And in fact, the rest of the community gave it overwhelming. And it's funny. I waited until after the West Coast broadcast, until the West Coast got to see that final moment.
Yes.
I didn't do it after the Oscar loss. I waited all the way until then
to
post community tab, and sure enough, 2,000 people. Let me get to it. I've been watching a lot of Norm Macdonald videos lately.
You mentioned that, yeah.
This morning, based off of this funny bit he did about Nixon, I started listening to the Frost Nixon tapes.
Oh, wow.
Fascinating stuff. I can't pay attention to friggin' news these days. Yay, 59%.
Yeah.
Yay, nay, 9%. In between, 17%.
If you take the Oscar loss out of it, even say, well, that was trash. I want to forget that happened. The rest of the show was really good.
And yeah, honestly, that was. It's funny because the vocal minority of nays were very vocal, and everybody kicking it off would have been a yay if Asuka hadn't lost. That comment that was by the Joker, liked by 19 people. Asuka, this is 2,000 votes. Asuka losing that title is an absolute shame from Robbie 1896. Adil Ishak. In between, yay for New Day and Kofi, nay for Asuka. Stiltman 92, huge nay. The burial of Asuka is complete. People are pissed off about Asuka. There's that great Avenge the Fallen meme, which whoever concocted did it very quick, and it was great.
Yes. What do I usually say though? Let's wait and see how things play out. There's storyline possibilities there that could be potentially very rewarding.
I hope this wasn't. I hope this was. Whenever we listen to the great Bruce Pritchard podcast, he says, whenever he talks about one of the most fascinating aspects of that is whenever he discusses the conversation that happens between a wrestler when title decisions are made,
yes,
or whenever he talks about what Vince talks about when the decision for titles are made, and it's, well, we'll do this for this, and then we'll get back to that down the road.
Yeah,
this sounds exactly like we'll get back down to Asuka down the road. Now, what crowds need to do at this point is the same thing they did to get Kofi there. Is we want Asuka beginning after Mania or at Mania or whatever.
No,
we want
week.
Asuka
Yeah,
chance
next week.
Next week. Would you be opposed to her being added to that Fatal 4-Way at this point?
You mean making it a Fatal 4-Way?
I'm sorry, making it a Fatal 4-Way?
No, but it's not going to happen.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen either.
There's no way that's going to happen. I mean, you're probably right. I mean, the situation I concocted, I realize, has got like a 2% botch chance of happening. Because in the end of the day, I think you have a decent point with them wanting the image of the Four Horsemen.
I don't know though. I mean, they seem to recognize their issues a bit more today than they did prior McMahon shakeup. I'll say that about the McMahon shakeup. It seems like they're a bit more in tune with things.
Yeah.
And maybe they understand that they kind of have a Charlotte problem with this. I mean, I'm not going to call it a problem, but there seems to be a perceived problem. I mean, 99% of people, if I were to post a community poll right now and say, should Charlotte be in this match? 99% of people would be like, no. But if she puts on a kill, what if she goes like 30 minutes with Asuka at Mania prior to her match there with Ronda and Becky? And that's the reason why she loses, that she puts in a killer performance.
In terms of creating an interesting storyline, not just hitting into Mania, but actually at Mania itself. They can do some interesting stuff with it.
Yeah.
That could make the main event a lot more intriguing than it potentially would be if Charlotte just walks in as champion.
Yeah.
But yeah, it depends if they want that image at the end or if they want, like a fascinating storyline the night of.
Yeah.
It depends.
I do get the feeling though that if anybody is going to be the next person to get the crowd wave treatment, it's going to be Asuka. It has to be. She's so flipping good.
Oh, she's outstanding.
She's worth so much more than what they've given her for
yes.
this title run.
Heck yes.
Yeah.
Anyway, Steve, before we continue, here's a word from our sponsor for today's show.
Oh,
Robin
I
Hood.
don't have my notes up.
Well, you better get them up.
Oh, no.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, my goodness.
I'm here trying to run a professional operation. What are you doing over here?
I'm ruining it. Where's the dang notes?
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, man. We're trying to do some business. We're trying to pay some bills. And what is this guy doing?
You're over here.
There they are.
There they are.
Here's the notes.
All right, I'll start that over. I'll start it over. Before we continue, here's a word from our sponsor for today's show, Robin Hood.
Robin Hood is an investing app that lets you buy and sell stocks, ETFs, options, and cryptos, all commission-free.
While other brokerages charge up to $10 for every trade, Robin Hood doesn't charge any commission fees, so you can trade stocks and keep all your profits. Plus, there is no account minimum deposit needed to get started, so you can start investing at any level.
The simple, intuitive design of Robinhood makes investing easy for newcomers and experts alike. View easy-to-understand charts and market data and place a trade in just 4 taps on your smartphone. You can also view stock collections such as 100 most popular.
With Robinhood, you can learn how to invest in the market as you build your portfolio, discover new stocks, track your favorite companies, and get custom notifications for price movements so you never miss the right moment to invest.
Robinhood is giving listeners of Going In Raw a free stock like Apple, Ford, or Sprint to help you build your portfolio. Sign up at goinginraw.robinhood.com, and thanks to Robinhood for sponsoring Going In Raw. It really does help the show if you guys check it out. I'm going to check my stocks right now because I need to get more involved. Like I funded my account. I got a couple going. And I haven't really kept up with them. Let's see here.
Up a little bit from yesterday. From the other day. Yeah.
All right, I gotta look more into cloud security, and possibly people like that weed stocks. Oh man, you don't have to enjoy it to invest in it.
Yes, to reap the benefits from it.
To reap the benefits, exactly.
Anyways, let's talk about the show in detail. Show kicked off with the New Day coming down to the ring. They start their promo with Big E, Xavier Woods. They pretty much did all the talking. And first they extended their thanks to their friends backstage, to each other, to the WWE Universe for giving them the experience of being the New Day over the last 5 years or so.
Yes.
And they said, we considered quitting. But we need some answers to some questions. Unfortunately, the only person who can answer these questions is Mr. McMahon. And we can't make this decision until we get these answers. So, Vince, come down here. We're willing to hang out in the ring until you come down here and talk to us.
A lot of teasing of the quitting thing.
Yeah, they kind of set things up like they were just going to come down and to say, all right, we're done. Vince comes down the ring. He's basically instantly interrupted by Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
And then he just tears into the New Day.
Daniel Bryan is having more fun than anybody on the planet
Just
right
about.
now. And he wanted so bad. He kept on trying to interrupt Vince, thinking that Vince would say, "Shut up!"
I know.
He wanted that so
I know. He kept
bad.
interrupting him. So Daniel Bryan comes to the ramp. He says, I don't know why you have to appease their fragile egos, Vince. If they want to quit, let them quit.
We can call up 3 people from NXT. They'll be hugely popular. We'll call them Fresh Afternoon.
Yeah, he said because
they'll throw waffles to the crowd.
He said the New Day is a novelty act that Vince created.
Yeah, we all know that's not true.
No. Yeah, that was pretty funny, the NXT bit. And then
throw waffles to the crowd and call them Fresh Afternoon. And they'll be way more over than you guys are.
Xavier Woods calls out Daniel Bryan for his hypocrisy.
That was so good.
That was good.
Dude, I forget who said this. It was ages ago. But I remember hearing that the one person that the general consensus was that could match Cena on the mic, if only he were like 3 inches taller.
Oh, 6 inches taller. That was
6
the story.
inches
Yeah,
taller.
it was Xavier Woods, yeah.
Was Xavier Woods. And we got to see, and it's always been obvious, but I always get the feeling that Xavier Woods, we've only seen 10% of what this dude could do on the mic if given the opportunity. And we got to see more of that last night when he was addressing Daniel Bryan. It was so good. It was so sincere. It was so genuine.
Yeah.
And it was just really good.
Yeah, it was really good. Vince interrupts them. That's when you got the shut up.
Quiet. Shut up. Well, all of you shut up. So you want to quit, huh? You want to quit? You don't have a quit bone in your body. You're not going to quit. You're not going to quit. You aren't going to quit.
He says, Kofi, I, Vince, still think you're a B-plus player. Your tag team partners here, not even sure they're a B-plus tag team. Ooh. So he says Xavier Woods and Big E have to win a tag team gauntlet match, and if they do, then Kofi will get his title shot at WrestleMania.
You want to get him in WrestleMania? Is that what you guys want to do? You can do that.
And they're like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
You crazy old man.
You, Kofi, you're out of chances. Your opportunity's done, buddy.
So, yeah, he put them in a tag team gauntlet match. Man.
A lot of gauntlet matches happening lately.
Vince understands the power of the gauntlet
You know what
match.
I actually thought is that
Then we get a gauntlet division.
if like Vince was fairly darn near jovial leaving the arena last night after New Day won, I thought if he was a little more upset about it, like next week he could have put the Usos in a tag team gauntlet match at Mania, and of course when the teams would be New Day would forfeit to return the favor to the Usos.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that could be good.
I don't think that's going to happen now.
Yeah, I like this. So Vince seems like he's having a lot of fun too. I feel like Vince
More so last night than he had prior nights.
When Vince, for whatever inspired him to pull the trigger on Charlotte winning that title, really got his juices going. He seemed like he was having a good time last night.
After that, there was a Becky interview backstage, and she wonders why Charlotte was in the match at Mania. She was contemplating what Charlotte actually brought to the match. So keep in mind, this interview is happening backstage. And then you hear the arena feed of Charlotte's music playing, and Becky just does this. Puts her head down.
Yeah.
We cut to the arena. Charlotte's entering. It's one of the weirdest, most awkward interruptions I've seen in wrestling in a long time.
Yeah, but Becky's reaction seemed real. It
did.
She did it really, really well. She's like,
but it was the juxtaposition of Becky obviously being backstage with the arena feed.
Yeah.
Or the broadcast feed of Charlotte's music playing over it.
What you're saying is we didn't hear it from the speakers out there.
Through the arena
wall, we just got, we heard what they played,
So it was a weird juxtaposition.
Yeah, it was
more of a production issue than anything else. Anyway, Charlotte walks out with the mic, and says, "Oh, you don't think I belong in the match at Mania? Well, I'll show you."
Yeah. I'm going to go do a crazy-ass Spanish Fly, and then you guys can doubt me being in this match.
Yeah.
Because that was awesome.
Yeah, it was awesome.
It's crazy to me anybody who thinks that she wouldn't be qualified to be in this match. She's just a terrific wrestler.
Oh, she's fantastic. Especially put him in the ring with another terrific wrestler like Asuka.
I said this from the get. I want the best wrestling match possible. Charlotte will add to the wrestling match itself. This story should be fantastic. It's going to be like HBK, Triple H, and Benoit back at Mania 20. It's going to be really, really fantastic.
I'll come back from commercial, and it's Charlotte versus Asuka. Apart from 2 commercial breaks interrupting the match, it was pretty good. Charlotte works over Asuka's leg. Of course, had play into the finish. For actually a good stretch of the early part of the match, she's working over Asuka's leg. At one point, Asuka counters with the code breaker.
That code breaker was beautiful, too. That was beautiful. Charlotte sold the crap out of it.
But can't make the cover because she's selling a leg injury. Eventually, though, Asuka gets the upper hand thanks to just kicking the heck out of Charlotte a lot.
Yeah.
But then she goes for a hip attack. Charlotte evades. So Asuka's hanging out on the ropes. And then Charlotte drops her with a huge boot. Charlotte goes for the moonsault, misses. Asuka applies Asuka lock. Charlotte does a roll-up type situation, gets the 2 count. And there's this great bit where Charlotte was like the right amount of sloppy, where Charlotte's going for a figure 4, and Asuka keeps kicking her off. It seemed legit.
Yeah. It did. It did.
And then, the Spanish Fly spot, that was great. Asuka kicks out of that. Asuka locks in a triangle. Charlotte counters with a powerbomb. In the end, though, Asuka goes for an Asuka lock. Charlotte escapes, locks in the figure 4. She worked that leg over too much. Asuka has to tap.
Yeah, I feel like this might have been a better match than their Mania match last year. I feel like it was longer. And I feel like the build to the finish was a bit more dramatic. I could be wrong. I remember being a bit sour on that match because I felt it was too short, and I felt it lacked a really, really strong Asuka waiting a long time to tap. I feel like she waited longer this time.
Not by much, though.
I thought it was a better match.
I'll have to watch that. I mean, I thought their Mania match was pretty solid, but then I don't remember it having Spanish Fly in it. So
it was pretty short, I think.
It's like 13 minutes.
Yeah. Come on, you got to.
No, I'd rather have 25 minutes between Asuka and Charlotte. Yeah, I agree, but
I think that's what we got last night too.
I don't think it was that long.
Didn't finish till it was at the 40-minute mark when it finished, and I know we had all that stuff beforehand.
Yeah,
but I feel like it was a longer match.
It could be.
It had a top rope Spanish.
Yeah, no,
Fly,
I'm saying that's maybe it pushed it over the edge.
How would you say any match that is a
Did
Spanish
you not
top
hear
rope
what I
Spanish
just
Fly?
said? I said it had a Spanish Fly. It's hard to argue. You weren't even paying attention to me.
I don't.
Be attentive.
I love you though, man.
No, you don't.
Oh, really? I'll stomp out little baby skin Larsons.
What?
Little skin Larsons you were making.
Here, I'll throw it at you.
Pick my nose at you. Look at that little baby Steve. No,
disgusting.
Don't blow him away.
Disgusting. What is wrong with you? Anyways, before we continue, here's a word from sponsor of today's show, Harry's. Steve.
Yeah, what?
Let me ask you something.
What?
What do you love most about shaving with Harry's?
Harry's is easily the most comfortable razor I've used to clean up the patchy facial hair that grows on this face of mine. Yeah, I got a lot of dirt, but I got to get rid of it. See, Harry's founders were tired of ponying up big money for razors that were overpriced and overdesigned. They've fixed that by combining a simple, clean design with quality, durable blades at a fair price.
Yep, Harry's replacement cartridges are just $2 each, which is likely one reason they've received over 20,000 5-star reviews on Trustpilot and Google. And all Harry's blades come with a 100% quality guarantee, so if you don't love your shave, let them know, and they'll give you a full refund.
And right now, listeners of Going In Raw can get a $13 value trial set that comes with everything you need for a close, comfortable shave, including a weighted ergonomic handle, a 5-blade razor with lubricating strip and trimmer blade, rich lathering shave gel, and a travel blade cover by going to harrys.com/GIR.
Join the 10 million who have tried Harry's. Claim your trial offer by going to harrys.com/GIR.
Thank you to Harry's for sponsoring today's show, and you're really helping out Going In Raw when you go to harrys.com/GIR to redeem your offer and let Harry's know that we sent you to help support the show. I also like not leaving my house, and they send it to you. Hey, going out, because you go out for like bread or stuff, and then you forget that you need a razor. Like, who remembers that stuff?
Well, that's why you got to make a grocery list. You got to write that stuff down.
I live by the seat of my pants. I'm sorry, did I spit on you?
No.
I live by the seat of my pants, man. I go out and I'm like, what do I need today? I don't know. We'll just see what's out there. See what's out there in the world.
That's
you
why
and I.
That's why you eat hot dogs all the time. You
Reading
just
all
pass
these-
by the hot dog aisle. I was like, well, that sounds good.
Reading
Cart
all these,
full of hot dogs.
Reading all these great sponsor reads makes me think if we were old timey guys, we'd have our little like wagon and we'd go from town to town hawking our tonic and wares. Yeah, you want brain tonic? Step right up. That'd be cool.
It seems like hard living, though, man.
Dude, any time before like 1993 was hard living. Go back to 1890s. Ooh, that's all tough.
I really enjoyed my modern comforts. I'm sorry.
Me too.
Anyways, as Charlotte was making her way up the ramp with her title, Kurt Angle's music hits.
They kept on cutting to the crowd. I wanted to see his pure reaction, his interaction with Charlotte.
Oh, we saw a bit of it.
We saw a little bit of
Where
it.
she's all,
yeah.
WTF, Kurt.
And they kept on cutting to the crowd. I'm like, no, I want to see the entire thing.
Well, I mean, we haven't seen the crowd all chant "You suck" in unison before. Never seen that.
Yeah, right.
Anyways, Kurt makes his way down to the ring. Backstage at gorilla position, we get an interview with AJ. Talks about Randy Orton a little bit, but then he says, Kurt Angle might have laid the foundation, but it's still the house that AJ Styles built. So there's a really nice moment before the bell rings where AJ goes up to Kurt. They shake hands.
Oh, yeah, it was great.
They talk a little bit of a hug. It was really nice. You can tell that they really like each other.
Oh, yeah. We'll go get steaks later, Kurt.
Yeah.
I think it'd be great. Let's have a killer match here.
Immediately, Kurt Angle hits a German suplex. Goes for the Olympic slam. AJ evades. Locks in the calf crusher. Kurt's in it for a while, really selling the heck out of it. He eventually reverses that into an ankle lock. AJ's in that for a little bit. Eventually, he counters and sends Kurt Angle into the turnbuckle. Then Orton runs in, hits an RKO on Styles. Match is over. But then Angle hits an angle slam on Orton.
Yeah.
They really, the first 2 minutes of this match were not even that. 45 seconds of this match were really good.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a bummer that Orton came in with an RKO, but that's the point exactly.
Yeah, I know.
Orton robbed us as what could have been a really good match. Heat on Randall Orton.
Yeah. I like this. I've been liking the Kurt Angle farewell tour. I kind of like it a little bit less, and like it's just it's been kind of also a magnifying glass or a spotlight on
Oh,
him.
that he's lost a step, or two.
Yeah.
No, I understand that.
But I love the idea of it, and honestly, more than anything, I just like the moments before the bell rings.
I know.
Everybody gets to pay their respects to the old man, and
To
I
a
love
legend.
it. Yeah, but I think it was the friendo. What's his name? Nunya.
Oh, yeah.
Antonio Nunya. He tweeted this out the other day, or during Raw. He said, "How is it Kurt Angle has aged 10 years in the last month?"
Yeah, no.
Or no, he said, "How has he aged 10 years in the last 12
3 months or something
12
like that.
months?"
Yeah.
And it's so true. Like, I feel like just over since he's been back. And granted, I didn't have. Well, I don't know. I saw some of his matches from before he came back to WWE. And, like, he hadn't lost this much of a step.
Yeah.
He's lost quite a bit of a
Well,
step.
he's like in his 50s. He's got a lot of mileage on him.
He's like, isn't he, like, I think he's 50 now, isn't he?
Yeah. And he's got a lot of mileage on him.
No, I know. And I'm not, I shouldn't crap on him. Yeah, he's 50. I'm not crapping on him at all. I think he's great. It's just, it's just kind of sad. Not sad.
It is a little bit. I understand your point. You want to remember people at their peak.
Yeah, right?
But at least at this point, whether he realized it or WWE is forcing him to realize it, it's probably time to step away from wrestling.
Yeah.
He looked like his knee almost gave out when he was dropping Orton with that Olympic slam.
No, I know, and that's the image that I have in my head of that last bit right there is, and I don't know if he was selling.
That's a possibility.
Maybe he was just selling it.
If so, what a professional.
Because he had the calf crusher.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. Next, we had a Rey Mysterio and Dominic Mysterio interview that I guess was on WWE.com.
Dom's a monster.
Yeah, he's huge.
Yeah, he's a
Of
big
course,
dude.
Rey's short.
Yeah,
he's like 5'6" or something like that.
But this kid's like 2 feet tall.
And you know, I was speculating that Ray was wearing some ring gear inspired by the work of Virgil Abloh. Sure enough, his kid was wearing an off-white shirt.
Yeah, it's got the stuff where it's kind of just, and there's like a little text on it.
Yeah,
that's the thing now, man.
Yeah, that's
the thing.
especially Virgil Abloh's thing.
That's good. You mentioned that like ages ago when we were talking about new merchandise. You're like, hey, let's do a thing like that where it's like a little tiny text. So I got to start getting these wheels spinning. Those Internet Today boys have a new merch shop also.
All their stuff looks great.
What's the name of their damn shop?
Just I guess if you search Internet Today merch or something, I don't know.
They got some really good looking shirts there.
Yeah.
itmerchstore.com.
There you go. Go to itmerchstore.com.
Just stop watching us and go to that
Go
store.
buy some of their stuff.
I love that they're, look at that.
They got great looking merch. Plus, great dudes.
I mean, look at this. It's
Oh,
got
no, that
a
one's
floppy
great.
disk on it.
That one's great.
That's awesome.
And of course, it's the metal logo. Great.
Yeah.
All good stuff.
I love it.
Anyways, Ray was just talking about his match with Samoa Joe.
Sorry, I got a bug in my nose.
Oh my gosh, you got issues over there. Talking about his match with Samoa
issues?
Joe at
He's a
Mania. I think he said he's going to win the belt for Dominic. Essentially, it's cool they're letting Dominic, kind of cut his teeth doing promos a little bit here.
I know, it's
while
great.
He's doing his wrestling training.
How long until he's so?
And he can comport himself pretty good on the microphone
Yeah.
for probably having basically less than or no experience.
Yeah,
little experience.
I love it. So he's just in training right now. Is he with any
understanding.
promotions that are like on the lower level?
Not that I'm aware of. I think Ray's training him.
Yeah, well, that's a good.
Yeah, it's a good teacher.
I mean, he's going to teach him to lawn dart people.
After that, we had The Miz. He came out to the ring.
Why is the air conditioning on in this place?
It's not. The heat's on.
I know, it's so weird.
Miz comes down the ring. He kind of goes a roundabout way of saying that he wants to tear Shane limb from limb, destroy him, annihilate him. And he says to accomplish this, he proposes making their match Falls Count Anywhere.
Yeah.
So he can beat him all around MetLife Stadium. And then Shane comes down, interrupting first the full security detail. And then you get Sanity, one of the Colognes, and then Shelton Benjamin.
Yeah, so I only saw, I was watching this and I was like, oh, it's a cologne. Where's the other one? Where was the other cologne?
Not there.
Okay, so I didn't miss him. He just wasn't there.
Not there.
Why is Sanity agreeing to be security for Shane McMahon?
They like chaos. They should not want to, fall in line.
Right.
With authority.
You can't trust them. They'll turn on
Maybe
you.
since Eric Young cut his hair off and his beard as well, he's reconsidered.
That could be. Now they're all
his
about,
life philosophy.
They're all about order and keeping it, and that's why they're
all about maintaining sanity.
Exactly, yeah.
Maybe that's it. Anyways, Shane, I thought, did a really good job of recounting how he felt, the euphoria he felt beating up Miz's dad.
Didn't he say, what did he say about his dad? He looks dumb, like he has a dumb looking face.
Yeah.
He said, look, and then he showed us still.
Yeah, I know. It's held up there on the Tron. Yeah,
just like your dad, your face looks stupid. He looks dumb. He looks like a dumb person. Yeah. Let's take a look. And it's like a still of Shane terrorizing him.
But it's like Shane still has this real congenial way of talking.
Yeah.
He just still sounds like a pretty cool dad who talks to you.
Yeah.
But the actual dialogue is pretty sinister.
I know.
And it was an interesting juxtaposition where he's just perfectly calm.
Your dad
he was talking about how it was like a euphoric experience beating up Miz, manhandling his dad, and he can't wait to feel that same sensation again.
It was a bit Patrick Bateman.
Man, yeah.
Patrick Bateman.
But he didn't. It wasn't like he was aloof, really, or there was a disconnect there. He was just like normal Shane.
Yeah.
Actually, I thought it was really well done.
Yeah, I thought it was good too. This feud is much better than I thought it'd be.
Yeah.
And if that match, given that match is going to be Falls Count Anywhere, it should be pretty fun.
It should be fun. Yeah.
I'm going to go in the concourse.
Yeah, totally. And then so he says I'll agree to your stipulation, Miz. And then he says I'll go and try to correct the greatest mistake that your family ever did.
Yeah.
Having your dad impregnate your mom.
He gave us some Earl Smothers there.
Yeah.
When your dad creamed up in your mom. Whoa.
So Miz takes the suit jacket off, runs down, brawls through security, manages to fend off the lone Cologne, fend off Shelton Benjamin.
Lone Cologne.
And then he brawls with Sanity for a bit. Eventually, he fended them all off, too. And it was great because Shane kind of walks up the ramp.
This was good.
And he's standing right in the doorway to go backstage, standing as if he's going to go through and just kind of has his head turned watching. Oh, it was so good. It was so good. Gosh, that was good.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Like the moment Miz turned his attention to the ramp, he just could have easily went through the curtain and disappeared backstage. It was so good.
That was really good. After that, we had an Iconics promo where they're jovial over the fact that they get to be in the WrestleMania Fatal 4-Way Tag Team match thing. So that's fun. That was really good. They seem both excited about it. After that, the Gauntlet match kicked off with New Day versus the Club. I thought we were going to see the Club on TV anymore. No,
we didn't see any Too Sweets last night.
No, we didn't.
What was up with that? Is that their way of giving us indication? We're out the door.
Things aren't too sweet
They're
right
not
now.
too sweet here in WWE for old good brothers here.
They'll be too sweet when we get to All Elite Wrestling.
Because they did the fist bump, did this. I'm like, there's a hand gesture missing there, you know? There's no too sweet.
They've adopted the Larson philosophy. They've started a Patreon where at $200,000 you can too sweet the Good Brothers.
In the event that they don't get a good contract from AEW, actually leave WWE, I guess that's in their back pocket.
Patreon. Hang out with the Good Brothers.
And maybe they should have threw up some too sweets because they lasted all about 30 seconds against New Day.
Yeah.
Big E got the pin on Carl Anderson. After Xavier Woods hits up, down, down.
You know, speaking of that, was anybody able to figure out if that Becky Lynch takes over your Twitter account thing was?
You're obsessed with that.
Did I seriously just imagine that? Can somebody explain that to me?
You may have.
Charity Buzz, get. I'm gonna look into that more, man.
All right, next, New Day taking on Nakamura and Rusev.
Yeah, this was a longer match.
More competitive bout.
Previous one than the Good Brothers.
I kind of felt like the New Day took on the first two teams they took on were the four people most likely to leave WWE within the next year.
Yes. Although Lana had a dark match segment last night.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's not making her any less likely to leave.
Less salty.
I don't know, man. Here, the thing about Lana, I still maintain, as bad as you might think she has in WWE, where is she really going to have it better? It all sort of depends on what they do with All Elite.
I mean, they got
and really the level of competition in their women's division, because she's not a good wrestler, and if they want good wrestling in that women's division and All Elite, that's not the place to go.
Well, I was thinking more for Rusev.
I honestly think with how many people they've signed, he's probably just going to get lost in the shuffle at All Elite too.
I don't even know if he would.
I feel like he's a lost in the shuffle guy. I hate saying that. Look, I don't like it. I feel like he's a lost in the shuffle guy.
We'll see. I don't know. Potential is there for him to not be a lost in the shuffle guy.
Here's the thing, dude. When you come out in a tank at WrestleMania against Cena,
it's hard to get lost in the shuffle doing that.
Well, no, that's a really good ceiling, but that ceiling was reached, and then you can only go down from there.
Yeah, if they capitalize on the Rusev Day stuff like they've been doing with this Kofi storyline, not that the situation's the same because they're not.
Is it possible that Rusev has already reached his past his potential
in WWE? Yeah, it's entirely possible.
Yeah, but where else can he? I don't know, man. If you've exceeded expectations in WWE, what are you going to do anywhere else?
Well, it's been you could apply that same logic to Drew McIntyre.
How would you book
his first run in WWE? He really didn't live up to expectations. He reached his peak was probably when Vince came out and named the Chosen One. He left for 3 years, came back, and now he's incredible.
If Rusev can literally change into an entirely different human being the way Drew McIntyre did, then you're absolutely right. Maybe he can. I don't know if I see that, though.
I don't think I would have suspected Drew was capable of that based on what I'd seen on WWE television before he got released either.
It's crazy. As soon as he left and he cut that promo in ICW, it was like, where's this guy?
I know.
Where was this guy?
I know. Anyways, this match was more competitive. Outcome was the same. Big E at one point avoided a Kinshasa, and it led to Xavier Woods this time pinning Nakamura after an up, down, down.
Ah, they took it down.
Wow. That's weird.
What the heck?
Next, most hard-hitting match of the gauntlet, New Day versus Thebar.
Oh, yeah.
We come back from commercial break, and Thebar is basically trying to destroy Big E's knee.
Yeah.
They work that thing all over the place. Eventually, Big E gets a hot tag to Xavier Woods. He clears the ring, takes out Thebar with a tope, and then follows it up with a top rope leg drop on Cesaro. Sheamus breaks up the pin. And then Thebar's going for, I don't know if this is their finish, but their signature at least, the white noise thing, where Cesaro jumps off the top rope. But Big E pulls Cesaro off the top rope. Xavier rolls up Sheamus. They get the win. See you later, Thebar. They're upset about it. Sheamus starts taking the boots to Xavier Woods after the match. Cesaro joins in. He goes out, gets the table. Thebar puts Big E through it.
And he sells the crap out of it. Like, he is completely destroyed at that point. It was great. It wasn't like...
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
And
awesome.
then cue Usos music.
Ooh, scary. Super scary.
They come down. They're yelling, get him up.
Yeah.
Like they want the match to start.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then they go grab mics, and they say, we've had some wars with you guys. You've earned our respect. No one deserves a title shot more than Kofi.
You've got our respect. You've got their respect. You've got
everybody's
everybody
respect.
in the back's
He
respect.
says, so good luck, Us.
Yeah.
We forfeit.
Oh, man.
That was great.
And it just, the juxtaposition, like it was like something out of a freaking movie, like a good movie, not a crap movie, where they cut to like Xavier just like cradling Big E, like protecting him. Like he can throw, he'll throw. He kind of knows it's a losing effort, but he's ready to do it.
Yep.
And he's just stunned, looking on, the look on his face is just stunned. And these guys say, we forfeit. Congratulations. Oh, God. It was so good.
It was so good.
Yeah.
Cut backstage, Daniel Bryan and Eric Rowan. Well, more so Daniel Bryan, not happy about it.
Right.
Daniel Bryan picks up a chair, throws it, super kicks the TV they were watching the match on. And then Rowan starts to kind of join in on the trashing of the locker room.
Yeah.
Kind of gently throws a chair aside.
Yeah.
But Daniel Bryan was going to town. Go to commercial, come back. Ring announcer says, another thing about Shane, he makes sure the ring announcer announces Shane to Shane's liking.
Yeah.
As the greatest in the world.
Yeah.
It's announced that New Day has to face one more tag team. It is Daniel Bryan and Eric Rowan, as I mentioned. Once they're announced as the final team and they're walking down the ring, I love that Big E's just, he can't get up. He's just waving them down. Come on, bring it.
Yeah.
Let's fight. Pretty short match, but the story beats were definitely hit. Big E hits a big ending on Daniel Bryan. Eric Rowan comes in, breaks up the pin. Xavier Woods and Big E kind of jointly lay out Eric Rowan once he's legal man. And then Big E dumps the announce table on top of him. And Rowan is counted out.
Yep.
New Day win.
Oh, man. And it's just like Kofi comes sprinting down. They're all embracing. The emotions are real. Crowd is just over, they're just head over heels. Just after getting, hey, hats off to that crowd. I mean, I guess hats off to creative, but man, to bring them to the lowest of lows with Asuka losing that title, which they were pissed about. And then we get that Kofi bit into the highest of highs.
Balance, man.
That crowd has to be going home happy.
Yep.
And then the face locker room comes
Well, first,
out.
Kayla, you cut backstage, and Kayla interviews Vince before he gets in his limo. And, and she asked him, so does this mean that Kofi is actually going to have his title shot at Mania?
I saw that match. It was very impressive. And, yep, Kofi's going to WrestleMania.
And at first, I thought, well, did he actually specifically say in the opening segment that Kofi would get a title shot if New Day wins? But then WWE.com put the graphic up that is Daniel Bryan and Kofi Kingston, so that should dispel any ambiguity about what Kofi's role is going to be.
Yeah, at this point, they just need to focus on the match is happening.
You got 1 week to build the actual match, not that
Exactly.
there's a lot more build required.
You have a contract signing, it'd be good.
Yeah. And then, then the face locker room runs down, celebrates. It was really cool, too, when Byron says, the hell with this. I'm going to go celebrate.
Know!
I'm going to go celebrate, too.
That was
great.
I love that they have made him so personally invested in him. And not only that, they have directed commentary to be, even Corey was fully behind the New Day, but Byron has been the head cheerleader, driving this story for the audience at home. And I think that's been great. And he said, screw it, I'm going to go celebrate too.
It was fantastic.
My favorite little tiny bit was Aleister Black coming down, clapping.
I know.
Happy
I love
stuff.
seeing him backstage because, of course, they have the face locker room.
You're supposed to be El Diablo.
Face locker room watching on the monitor backstage. He's in the back.
Yeah. He brings up Zelina.
Well, she'd be in the heel locker room, kayfabe-wise, Steve.
Oh, that's a good point.
So she wouldn't be there. Anyways.
I pay attention to both their Instagrams.
There you go.
She recently met her new in-laws.
Yeah, because they went to Amsterdam for their
right.
honeymoon. We got some mail to open, Steve. Let's open some mail.
This one's from Draft House Games. Man, they've been supporting us for so long.
They've been absolutely generous in supporting us.
They have a YouTube channel. Check them out, Draft House Games. This is, I know what this is. This is from Chad McCallum.
Road to WrestleMania cards. 71 cards in total.
Oh, that's cool. Though. I was hoping for trivia. Look at this. Does this remind you? Does this bring back some memories?
Awesome.
This is from Chad McCallum. It's the more but better DX
Are you ready?
DVD. We had this on VHS back in the
yeah,
day.
Man.
I like for the cover photo, they've got the picture of HBK's hog being covered.
Yep.
By
the title.
The title.
Oh wow! One relic card inside. Let's see what relic card we get.
It
says, "Look for Ronda Rousey tribute cards in this pack." We have to do a watch party to that. What relic card do we get? Kevin Owens WrestleMania.
Oh, that's
Matt
cool.
Relic, authentic Matt Relic. This actually
Matt
piece of the match.
Relic.
That's cool. All right, let's answer some questions.
All right.
Quoth the Raven 79. Brutus Beefcake leaked for Hall of Fame. Thoughts? I mean, it's Vince's Hall of Fame. He can do what he wants, I guess.
Vince can put whoever he wants to put in.
If it's an excuse to get Hogan to do a... Oh, they're not doing inductions this year, right? Or like
they're not doing inductions. That's the rumor anyways.
So I guess so much for... I would think that maybe they were doing this to get Hogan on the Hall of Fame show.
I know,
but if
me
they're not
too.
actually having people induct anybody, just have acceptance speeches, and I guess that would alleviate that concern.
I mean, we say this kind of every year. The Hall of Fame is already kind of a joke. It's just a good time to watch people get together and have a laugh.
Didn't Hogan and Beefcake have a falling out? They were like kind of going after each other on Twitter, I thought.
Really?
I thought so.
I don't remember that.
Joe Juarez says, press F to pay respects to Asuka. Just wait and see how things play out. There's possibility for things. You know, if Asuka ends up having that match of Mania against Charlotte and wins the title, that's going to be huge for her. So, here we go. There's a Ronda card. They said keep your eye on the lookout looking for Ronda Rousey card.
I think once Ronda's gone, which I still think is going to happen right after Mania, I think that's going to go a long way towards helping Asuka, like giving her some real competition. You'll have her versus Charlotte again, which will allow the other, Mandy Rose to get built up, Sonya Deville to get built up. You just need more competition. The game.
Go ahead.
Let's see here. Cody Miles, they're doing some sort of in Discord. Who, by the way, did you see Dash Wilder? Scott Dawson tweeted out. So there was that sign.
Yeah, the
big money pajama sign, which was a Discord joke.
Yeah.
That came from our Discord.
Yeah.
That I had no idea about.
Yeah, I didn't know what that was.
And then he retweeted it with
funny.
hashtag big money pajamas.
That's pretty great. I have no idea what big money pajamas are.
I don't either. But also, and then who broke Cultaholic broke it to me because in Ross's WTF moments, he said apparently it was an in joke from the Going In Raw Discord. I didn't know.
Cody Miles tweeted that at us.
He tweeted, the
night of. No, the night of.
Oh, okay.
That they got on TV for that.
Yeah, it kind of went over my head.
Oh, all right.
It kind of went over my head.
I don't know what the reference is, but that's great. Rich Hardesty, you notice the club didn't throw up the too sweet either to the crowd or to each other during the gauntlet. Got a foot out the door, which sucks. Yeah, I noticed
they
that.
are snoozing their way out, man. Let's see here. DJ Booty Dan, if you believe in moments over storyline, it's the four horsewomen holding the belts. Does it perfectly. For some reason, they think that storyline has to be sacrificed to get there. I mean, you could have your cake and eat it too somehow, but obviously they're not going to be able to do that at this point.
Yeah.
Obi-Wan Jabroni, WWE is all about moments. It's going to end like that.
W.S. Fletcher, this is for emotional support for Steve last night. He was broken down to be built up.
Oh, man, I was.
Yeah, you were not happy.
I was not, man. I wear my emotions on my sleeve. Obi-Wan Jabroni, is it more likely Seth loses against Brock, Kofi loses against Daniel Bryan, or Becky loses to Ronda? I'm not sure how I'm not going to bet against Becky. I'm not going to bet against Kofi. My predictions, I might have a very low confidence point on Seth versus Brock and give it to Brock.
Interesting. Justin Rogers, weird that McMahon didn't say that Kofi was in the title match, just said he was going to Mania.
Yeah, I'm
WWE.com tweeted the graphic.
Deep into that.
So it's a done deal, probably.
Let's see here. Nope.
That was a lot of cards.
Yeah, they took down that chair to have her take over.
That's weird.
That is weird.
I don't know what the motivation was for that.
I don't know. Maybe it wasn't getting enough money, and they're like, oh, a whole day she has to free. That's a
that's a money loser for us.
That's a money loser, yeah.
Carmen Childers, hey, I've got a free super chat. Here you go, gents. Thank you very much.
Thanks, friend. Jimmy Thomas, in this day and age of leaks and dirt sheets, could there ever be another group of politickers like the Clique?
Yeah. I just think the culture backstage is different. All these guys kind of, make their way up through the independents. And I think they actually, for the most part, a lot of them probably really genuinely like each other. And see, as they probably did going up through the independents, that it's a team effort. We don't see politicking to the same extent.
To get to Vince, you got to go through Triple H, I think. And Triple H was literally part of the Clique.
Yeah.
And I think he's seen all those games, So I think it's harder to get one over on
Maybe.
him.
Maddie Freaking Nice, think they may unify the titles. I'd be very surprised if they unify the women's titles.
I don't think that's going to happen.
Very surprised.
Henry Harris says Discord is way over. Speaking of which, I'm going to leave Discord now and go to the Patreon.
Kyle Mushigan, now could we get the 4 Horsemen standing tall with the titles at Mania? That's what Steve thinks is going to happen. There's probably a good chance. I don't dispel that idea. There's actually a pretty good chance it's going to happen. Sammy Garcia, what if Asuka beats Charlotte so bad that kayfabe she can't compete in the triple threat, and then it's just Ronda versus Becky one-on-one? I don't think they're going to pull something like that at this point. I'd actually be disappointed if they did. Benjamin Melton, seeing daughter's reaction tells me they did right. I assume that means for the finish of the New Day Gauntlet match. Locane says, add Asuka to the match. Becky and Ronda are fighting for Raw title. Asuka is fighting for the SmackDown title. And Charlotte is fighting to become the first undisputed women's champion all in the same match.
That seems like a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot of stuff going on.
That's just a lot. Because a couple people were also like on Twitter saying, put both the titles up like that. Put both the titles up.
Do the Jericho Angle Benoit thing WrestleMania 20.
I'm not into it. I'm not into that. It's just too much. It needs to be
simple.
More simple. Yeah, exactly.
The Red Joka, are the Usos the MVP of the show?
Oh, man. Beloved. Samuel Deepson, you've got 1 week to overbook the Mania main event. Even more, what do you do?
Well, you have you add Asuka to it.
Yeah.
You make both titles on the line, different falls. Everybody has someone in their corners.
And you change it to a fatal 5-way. Here's what you do. The 4-way to get into the Asuka match now is to get into the Asuka match as part of the fatal 4-way. So it's either going to be Mandy. You're going to add either Mandy Rose, Sonya Deville, Naomi, or whoever else. Carmella. Then they get added to the match. But then day of WrestleMania,
Ember Moon is cleared. She is added to the match.
Right,
Six-pack challenge.
Yeah. And then it's wild card finals.
There you go.
I don't know what that means because I never knew what that meant.
And then everybody has someone in their corner.
Yeah. Oh, and here we go.
And
perfect.
No DQ, so it's an overbooked mess.
Bruno Bluciardi adds Travis Brown special guest referee with McMahon's as lumberjacks.
Oh, dear. Charles Ford. No comment, just 99 cents. Thank you, Charles. Tim Morris says, I popped for Charlotte's win, considered it a heel turn. It's already been a heel. But I get your point. Don't talk, just listen.
Oh, he says considered his heel turn.
Oh, his heel turn.
Tim Morris is now
Sorry,
the heel.
I apologize.
He swerved you.
Yeah, I misread that. Don't talk, just listen. Imagine how Carmella, Naomi, Sonya, and Mandy felt. Yeah, they got their potential Mania match snatched from them.
Oh, yeah. Well, I know Naomi anyways tweeted out, welp. That's gotta suck, man.
Mm-hmm.
But that's wrestling for you, I guess. At least these days they're sad about not getting inserted into a title match, and they're not mad about having Santino win a Miss WrestleMania Battle Royal.
Yeah.
I mean, let's see here. Thayer Thabata, he's taking this really hard. He said, only Vince McMahon could take away all the goodwill from the first women's main event 24 hours after announcing it. If there was ever a time when I would expect a wrestler to refuse to win a match out of respect for their opponent, that doesn't happen, man. That doesn't happen. You do what you're told. That's how you get your paycheck. He said it was Charlotte last night. Even if Asuka gets added to the match, and it just takes away from Becky's story because some would root for her over Becky. Do you think this match could ever have gotten this royally effed up? I really don't think
Actually, I think Charlotte winning the title last night was probably one of the first really good things they've done in terms of the build-up to this story.
There you go.
Astros J5 says the problem with Asuka versus Charlotte at Mania makes Charlotte an underdog, undermining Becky and again protecting Charlotte. He mentions Bret Hart WrestleMania 10. I don't think that's a problem because no one's going to cheer for Charlotte over Becky.
Yeah.
It's just not going to happen. And it gives Charlotte like a story heading into the match.
It adds. I agree with you though. It adds complexity. I don't know, man. You know. I've often said this. A lot can change with a single match. Mm-hmm. And if she has like a really, really gutsy performance against Asuka and limps her way into that triple threat main event, I don't think anybody's necessarily going to be cheering for her over Becky. But man, they're going to maybe feel it out. Charlotte's a really good wrestler, and she could turn a crowd.
I know.
With a really strong performance. I just don't know if that's what they want to do.
Yeah, there's a chance that they don't.
Iconic Bud Ryan. Did we just see the formation of the new Mean Street Posse? Speaking of Shane's, who do we have? One Cologne.
Yeah.
All of Sanity.
Primo or Epico.
Yeah. And then who was the other one?
Shelton Benjamin.
Oh. And which one's Joey Abs? Got to be Shelton Benjamin, right?
Yeah.
He's the one that looks like a real wrestler.
Andrew Sharp. When I thought they couldn't make the story more convoluted, they did. Might as well have a 2-fall triple threat like WrestleMania 2000. First for SmackDown, second for Raw. Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. Charles Ford. Vince is now just an old man, not giving us our ball.
Yeah, I don't know about that either. I suspect a lot of these were, 9:35 a.m.
Right about, we got a lot of super chats.
These are all super chats.
That's right, the first half of the show. Zach Lindner, can you do Okada math?
It's difficult, man. We don't know his promo.
Where's his pen?
I'm assuming he's a killer promo, but I don't know.
I mean,
we should retire math because nobody's ever going to get better than Cena.
Well, Tanahashi was close.
No, he wasn't.
So, in ring, I mean, he's the best wrestler in the world. 10. Look.
He looks like a championship title.
Yeah.
Give him a 9.
Promo. I just don't know.
Unknown.
5. Let's give him a 5.
If you don't know, it's got to be a 5. That's.
I mean, just based on watching what I don't know what he's saying, but it's not like he's stumbling over his words. He can deliver an effective promo.
Right, yeah. He knows how to promo.
Yes. Kayfabe's got to be a 10.
I don't know, man. He just lost to Jay White.
Yeah, after holding the title for 2 years.
Underwhelming fashion.
After holding the title for 2 years.
One Rainmaker doesn't cut it anymore. That's annoying.
I don't think it's cut it for a long time.
I think he's knocked down to a 9 kayfabe.
Oh my gosh! If he wins at MSG, it's gonna go back up to 10. Legacy.
Strong legacy. He's got like the records for whatever.
He's got pretty much all the records except for most title reigns.
Strong legacy.
At least a 9. Man, that's gonna be close. 8. 20. He's just under a 9.
Yeah, 8 plus.
8 plus.
Again, not a Cena, but
again, he's
getting there.
Give him 10 years, so he's put 15 years or so into, so he can equal Cena's.
I hate when Patreon does this. Get out of here.
Cena's length of run, that legacy and kayfabe are both going up to 10 for Okada.
See, the problem is, here's the thing: it's not just can he deliver an effective promo. Cena can do whatever he wants, whenever he wants,
I know,
with any crowd.
That separates Cena from pretty much 99% of wrestlers. I'm just saying in terms of how we can grade Okada's promo ability. That's all I'm saying is we don't speak Japanese.
Yeah.
So we don't actually know the content of his promos or how effective his message is delivered.
We would need to
in
do
terms
research.
of the verbiage. However, we've seen him speak on a microphone in a wrestling arena, and he can do so capably.
Yeah.
So 5.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you.
I'm no way am I comparing his promo ability to Cena because Cena is
I'm just
to use Tanahashi's thing 1 in 100.
I'm just explaining what we would need to raise that promo. We would need to do outside research from trusted sources.
Yeah. Well, I think in 10 years after Okada has more or less wrapped up his career as a main eventer in New Japan, I have little doubt that his legacy in kayfabe will be 10. At which point he will be a 9 wrestler.
Well, that's, we'll revisit that in a decade.
Yep. Joe Juarez, which NXT stars would make up Fresh Afternoon?
What a great question.
Mm-hmm.
Joe just hit the question of the day. Who's Fresh Afternoon? If Aleister Black was still in NXT and they rebooked him the way I want to as Ice Cream Man, he could be the cornerstone of Fresh Afternoon.
Yeah.
And then, Ricochet, put a little bow tie on him. He's the ice cream guy too.
Bobby Fish.
And Bobby Fish with the bow tie and a little hat selling ice cream. That's your fresh afternoon.
Waffle cones, not waffles, but waffle cones.
Waffle
yes.
cones, yeah.
Yes, that's
and
it.
They roll up in their van. Yeah, that's your fresh afternoon right there. We got to book that. We book NXT. Let's see here. God, get out of the way. There we go. Wolfpack for life.
Go ahead.
With the current matches booked for Mania, what would be the worst outcome for each match? Well, let's speed round this.
For Mania?
For Mania. For each
Worst
match.
outcome, probably Ronda winning the main event.
Mm-hmm. By tapping out both Becky and Charlotte at the same time.
Yes. Daniel Bryan beating Kofi. And then them, especially if the feud doesn't continue afterward.
Yeah.
I guess Brock retaining. Although there's always the idea that Seth could maybe have a rematch at the next Saudi Arabia show and have him win there.
Well, okay, so how would he retain? Like, what's the worst way he could retain?
Oh, like a 2-minute squash match.
Yeah, I agree with that. Let's see here. Buddy Murphy versus Tony Nese.
I don't know. I think that match, if they give that match like 3 minutes.
Yes, that's exactly right. Triple H Batista. They give that match 30 minutes, and it's so boring.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter who wins.
Seems actually kind of likely.
That actually seems
pretty much if they give that match too much time, yes.
Kurt Angle versus Baron Corbin.
If there's no John Cena. Or if Corbin wins.
Okay. Those are both likely, by the way. Shane McMahon versus The Miz. Falls count anywhere.
Someone gets hurt.
Yeah. That's a good one. My goodness, you're killing this right now. AJ Styles versus Randy Orton.
I feel like that one's going to deliver. Unless... Here's the thing.
There's no worst outcome.
If Orton decides of all days to phone it in on WrestleMania against AJ Styles, which I have a hard time believing that's going to happen. I have a really hard time believing that's going to happen.
This is a wildly more entertaining question than I thought it would be. The Andre the Giant Battle Royal.
Like Mojo winning again.
Okay, but it's not going to have any. The worst outcome wouldn't have anything to do with Colin Jost or Michael Che. I feel like the best outcome is Colin Jost winning.
Yeah,
this.
no, I think so too. Braun would not be the worst, be the most predictable. But that's why I feel like if it's just like somebody completely out of left field.
Oh yeah, yeah, Mojo.
But there's no steam behind it. There's just nothing.
Mojo.
Story wise,
everything you just said is Mojo. Samoa Joe versus Rey Mysterio. Is there a worst outcome there?
No.
How about this? This is the worst outcome for this. Is Rey gets in and immediately rolls up Samoa Joe for the win, and Joe has like one shoulder up and he still loses.
Yeah.
Intercontinental Championship: Bobby Lashley versus Finn Balor.
Finn as Demon loses clean to Lashley.
Boy, that'd put a lot of heat on Lashley, though. That'd be a big win for Lashley.
It would be. It'd be great for Lashley.
Would that be a worst outcome?
For Finn, yeah.
Yeah.
For the fans, probably.
Roman versus Drew McIntyre.
Yeah, I don't know if there's a worse outcome.
What's the best outcome?
I mean, for me,
shouldn't Drew win that?
As a Drew fan, best outcome is Drew winning for me.
And here's the thing: Drew winning clean wouldn't really do much because Roman's he just came back.
I know,
from beating cancer.
Yeah, I know.
He can lose to Drew.
Dr. I pronounce this. KUMR821. He says, love Charlotte, but underlying heat might be due to the writers really leaning to racial optics, especially immediately after the New Day segment. Tom alluded to her not deserving that shot during the match, too.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Quote the Raven 79, Ray should dress as Rocket and Dom as Groot. That's funny. That is a tall dude.
Jack Daddy, umpire Rich Harsty, 15 years from now, I look forward to Dominic versus Nicholas. But Dominic's he's training to be a wrestler now.
Isn't he going to be ready next year?
Yeah, probably pretty soon. Josh Little, Oscar should be added to the WrestleMania 35 match for both titles. Bishop Ciampa, saying it now, almost for Money in the Bank. That'd be cool.
That'd be pretty cool.
Rich Harsty, the crowd was no Lafayette, that's for sure. Jay Sean Lawrence, 99 cents. Thank you. Oh, your favorite Dragon Reborn message retracted. Quoth the Raven, Vince said B-plus player will go against the champ since he referred to all three members of the New Day as B-plus. There's going to be a three-way match on Tuesday.
Chris Penna, is Asuka officially buried?
No.
I don't think she is. I think that this is a crappy sacrifice in the short term, but long term, I still see her prospects as being pretty high.
Mm-hmm.
I just think that Ronda threw a big wrench into everything because they had to center everything around her. Benjamin Sargent, where do you rank this Kofi build-up to Mania compared to other build-ups of the past? What do you like better? You like this one or the Daniel Bryan one better? I guess Daniel Bryan, because it was the first time we really saw something like that. But the fact that this is paralleling it, is that even make sense?
Mm-hmm.
I really like, and there's something about his history that really makes us feel like something special.
I think it's the history. I think that's what kind of might push it over the edge for me.
Yeah. Oh, good point here. Fit Boss Man. No Kevin Owens heat for Mania. Traveling to Mania from Florida, and my favorite isn't even wrestling. Is Kevin Owens going to be in the Battle Royal?
Maybe.
That would seem to make sense.
Yeah.
That would seem to make sense.
Yeah.
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 Anyways, thank you all for watching. Patrons, $5 and up. Stay tuned. We've got a bonus episode, Overrun.
I'll try to find a chat trivia card somewhere.
We're doing some chat trivia, or we'll just make up. We'll do you'll just make up 3 questions, and I'll make up 3 questions.
All right. Oh, to describe? Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do it our own. We'll do describe the password thing because that's been fun.
There you go. So that's coming up. If you're listening to us in the podcast realm, leave us a rating, review, or a comment. It really goes a long way towards helping grow the show.
Yep.
And hit that subscribe button and hit that like button.
Yeah, smash it.
Smash it. Anyways, thanks so much for watching. Until next time, we'll talk to you guys later.
Bye.
Be a part of Going In Raw today at patreon.com/Steven Larson. Starting at $1 a month, you can enjoy Going In Raw ad-free, gain access to the daily 30-minute Going In Raw post-show, exclusive merchandise, and so much more. Support Going In Raw today. Click the link in the description.